Has Ferrari really created the most revolutionary car in its history by 2026? Or is it just another promise? The story of the SF26 begins with a decision as bold as it was unpopular. In April 2025, with still more than 3/4 of the season left to play, Ferrari decided to shut down the SF25 development computers. What for many was seen as a surrender, for Frédéric Vasseur was a long-term investment. That day not only marked the end of Ferrari's competitive aspirations in 2025, it also marked the beginning of the team's most radical commitment in more than a decade. Vasseur knew that Ferrari could not afford another season of being almost competitive. Either a car would be built that would redefine the hierarchy of the grid, or they would continue to be stuck in the eternal second place. Therefore, the SF26 is not a progressive evolution. It is a planned revolution, surgically thought out from the first screw to the last flow simulation. And the most impressive thing is not just the ambition of the design. It is the risk assumed. They finished the final assembly of the car the day before its official presentation on January 23, 2026. This was not a coincidence, it was deliberate. Every extra hour was spent on simulations, CFD analysis, structural bench testing, and virtual improvements. They were willing to squeeze every last second out of development, even if it meant walking on the edge of logistical disaster. The context of this extreme bet cannot be ignored. Ferrari closed 2025 without a single victory. Fourth in the Constructors' Championship. Charles Leclerc trapped in a cycle of technical frustrations. And Lewis Hamilton with the worst statistical year of his entire career. The team was fractured, unmotivated, and lacking results. However, instead of trying to save the furniture with last-minute patches, Vasseur bet everything on the future. And that decision, made when Ferrari was the subject of criticism in every headline, is what makes the SF26 more than just a new car. It turns it into an ideological statement. Because it's not just a new chassis. It's about changing the way Ferrari competes. To abandon, let's see, to embrace millimetric planning. It is about turning Ferrari into what it was in Schumacher's golden years. A machine of precision, planning, and perfection. It's not just engineering. It's a way of thinking. And it is right here where Vasseur's true message begins to be understood. They do not seek isolated victories. They are not looking for momentary headlines. They seek to break the cycle of systematic defeats. That's why everything about the SF26 smells like a reboot. From the way the monohull was designed to the selection of new technical staff leading key areas. Everything responds to a vision. Ferrari not only wants to win again, he wants to build a hegemony. One of the most surprising and strategically brilliant decisions Ferrari has made with the SF26 is the development of not one, but two different specifications of the car before the season begins. At first glance, this might seem like a simple testing tactic, but it is actually the reflection of an entirely new mindset within Maranello. One that prioritizes total process control, intelligent risk management, and surgically precise data collection. The first version, internally called Specification A, is a deliberately contained platform. He's not looking to impress with speed or make headlines in testing. Its purpose is much more subtle but equally crucial. This version will be used only in private testing in Barcelona from January 26th to 30th, and is designed with an obsessive focus on reliability, structural validation, and the integration of electronic systems. Especially the powertrain.it is a silent, hermetic phase, where the objective is not to compete with stopwatches, but to obtain technical answers. Does the new cooling system work as modeled in CFD? Does the wind tunnel structural data correlate with the runway? Is the wiring architecture, sensors, and controllers working under real track conditions? This version is, in essence, a rolling laboratory that protects the most important secrets of the real car, while allowing the fundamentals to be tested without external distractions. Just a few days later, at the official Bahrain test scheduled for February 11th to 20th, Specification B will debut. This is where the real SF26 begins to reveal itself. This second version will show the final aerodynamic lines, the final suspension architecture, the optimized cooling system, and probably the most aggressive engine map. It is the car that will most resemble the one that will race in Australia, but even here, Ferrari continues to play chess with its rivals. Vasseur has publicly confirmed that there is still a third evolution of side pontoons in development, which will not be presented in Barcelona or Bahrain. That version will be reserved exclusively for the Australian Grand Prix, the true debut of the complete SF26 in race mode. This layered planning, where versions of the car are scaled according to the moment and the level of exposure, is something that is reminiscent of the golden years of Mercedes in the hybrid era, when they arrived at the tests with camouflaged cars and then revealed their true arsenal in the race. But there is an emotional and human component here that cannot be ignored. Vasseur has been clear. He does not seek media validation in the tests. Look for solidity. He knows that in 2026, with 24 races and only 4 engines allowed per driver throughout the season, each error in reliability can cost not only a race, but the championship. Every engine failure, every poorly designed component, is a possible penalty on the grid. And that's why this split strategy isn't just smart. It is vital. Furthermore, this approach allows Ferrari to hide its cards. He will not show his full setup at any time before the start of the season. It allows you to study your rivals, analyze in real time how they respond to the track, what solutions they adopt, and only then deploy your real weapons. It is a game of shadows, of narrative control, and above all, of preserving competitive advantage. But there is something else. Something that few teams do, and that Ferrari has incorporated here. The emotional management of the technical team and the drivers. Having 2 versions of the car also keeps everyone alert, motivated, part of a dynamic process. Knowing that there is one more evolution to come, knowing that what is tested today is not the limit, creates a work environment where no one relaxes, where every session counts, where every piece of information can be key. This not only improves the car, change the internal culture. In short, this strategy of 2 and eventually 3 SF26 specifications is not a simple testing trick. It is a declaration of intent. Ferrari is not improvising. He is executing a meticulous plan designed to win. And he is doing it quietly without seeking premature praise. Because they know that the true ovation does not occur in the tests. It occurs when you cross the finish line first. Within the SF26, beyond the aerodynamic design or the new chassis concept, there is a component that has completely shaken the foundations of engineering in Formula One, the power unit. Ferrari has not only redesigned its engine to adapt it to the new 2026 regulations. It has introduced an innovation so radical that it has generated both astonishment and skepticism within the paddock. A cylinder head made of steel, replacing the traditional aluminum that has been the category standard for decades. To understand the magnitude of this decision, we must go to the heart of the challenge that the new regulations impose. Starting in 2026, the engines must operate without the MGUH, the component that until now controlled the energy recovery of the exhaust gases and helped manage the turbo temperature. With this piece out of play, the heat generated by combustion becomes a much more difficult enemy to control. In addition, fuels will become 100% sustainable, which poses a new challenge in terms of energy efficiency and internal pressure in the combustion chamber. Additionally, this new architecture is complemented by a more aggressive hybrid mapping philosophy. While the regulation limits continuous electric power to 350 kilowatts, Ferrari has completely redesigned battery management and electric motor deployment to maximize performance in key traction phases. Power logic is now based on predictive scenarios, using artificial intelligence applied to real-time telemetry. This system anticipates thermal degradation and modifies deployment parameters before losses materialize. But there is one detail that has generated even more debate. Ferrari has opted for a completely redesigned cooling system. Taking advantage of the greater thermal tolerance of steel, the total volume of the cooling system has been reduced, freeing up aerodynamic space to redirect airflows to key areas of the diffuser. This symbiosis between mechanical design and aerodynamics is a work of coordination between departments that has not always characterized Ferrari in the past, but that today, under Vasseur's management, is functioning as a well-integrated ecosystem. In short, what Ferrari has achieved with this engine is not just a technical improvement. It is a cultural break. It is challenging what was considered untouchable in modern F1. It is daring to win from the most fundamental engineering. And if this bet works as their simulations indicate, we could be facing the turning point that forever changes the way engines are designed in the post-MGUH hybrid era. Ferrari has stopped playing the same game as its rivals. While many teams opt for prudent evolution, Vasseur has opted for disruption. He has changed Maranello's mentality in a structural way. And in a modern Formula One where every millimeter, every second of simulation and every gram matters, that change could make the difference between being remembered or simply having tried. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this.